What is denied by everyone but is 100% real? How real family dysfunction is in many cases. So many people turn a blind eye to it. I just found out my mom had a secret child in high school she put up for adoption and no one ever talked about, and honestly it kinda relieved me because my family always felt too stereotypically atomic, and finding out that was our hidden dysfunction was a relief. Like, yeah, I knew there had to be something and that checks out. You can do absolutely everything right and still fail. Most evil powerful people are actively supported and encouraged by everyday good people. Let not anyone pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part, and forms no opinion. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. He is not a good man who, without a protest, allows wrong to be committed in his name, and with the means he helps to supply, because he will not trouble himself to use his mind on the subject. John Stuart Mill's short version is, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. It's a quote routinely attributed to Edmund Burke. But it turns out falsely so. Apparently, he never uttered these words. If it is happening to someone else, it can happen to you. A Calvin and Hobbes comic always stood out to me as a kid. Their house gets robbed while they're on vacation and the dad talks about how you always think about this kind of thing happening to someone else. The mom says to everyone else, you're someone else. I hate when people act like the chances of becoming disabled or chronically ill are so slim. You all know how common things like chronic pain, autoimmune conditions, random idiopathic nonsense, and so on. And even when they don't keep you from doing what you do on a daily basis. Just one condition can make it all much, much harder. And they often have comorbidities, so you start collecting symptoms and diagnoses. And you earn a bunch of extra responsibilities and problems that are basically like a second life. And it wears on you mentally. All the while people say dumb crap to you. And act shocked whenever they see you and you're not better yet. And act like they're not exactly how you were, how you still are, in terms of who you are as a person, before you got sick. Like it could never happen to them. Or if it happened to them, they'd manage better than you. The worst part of it all is when you start to believe those people. This hit me somewhere deep. This is how I've been feeling, especially more as of late. What gets me is, oh, you have this problem again? Like it's not. Again, it never stopped. Some days, weeks are just better than others. Yes, chronic pain is a nightmare and people don't understand it robs you. So much of my life had been taken from me because of pain. Hopefully this surgery next week will give me some of it back. Pray for me. Peach Softma Mind wishing you a successful surgery and lots of relief. Have had my share of events happen. This is why I tell people I never think it can't happen to me, because it can, it has, and it can happen again. I was, and probably still am, the poster boy for safety training at an old job because of a gruesome freak injury. Life happens fast and unexpectedly. It can happen to you. They made me the safety officer because if there was a freakish way to get hurt, I could find it. I have permanent nerve damage in my left index finger BC of a freak accident. What do I do? Microbiologist, woman shrugging. I once had a cheating wife that I ended up divorcing. Had a guy I worked with that genuinely believed it was something he never had to worry about and that it would never happen to him. It happened in extreme fashion. It can be said it destroyed him. I had a Widowmaker heart attack at 35 and needed 2 stents. It was amazing how many people, including one doctor that I could tell, were bothered by this. I had no indicators, not overweight, not diabetic, didn't drink, didn't smoke, cholesterol was not bad. It became obvious over time that they wanted to know why so they could feel better and know it couldn't happen to them. I remember one doctor a few months later just staring at me and saying, "But you're my age." This happens all of the time. I work in a neuro ICU and see a lot of brain tumors. Normal weight, healthy, thriving people have their lives ground to a complete stop by a life-limited tumor. They will never go back to work, never function at full capacity again, and never be able to watch their children or grandchildren independently again. 2 months ago there may have been no tumor at all, and now they're dying. It's an extremely hard thing to be witness to, and it's an incredible reminder that we should live like each day is our last. This is my husband. Perfectly healthy. Had a random seizure and now has terminal brain cancer. He is 34 and this all started 5 days after we had our second and last baby. With all of my heart, I'm sorry. It's so extremely unfair. I wish our medicine was good enough to cure gliomas. I hope that we'll have those advancements soon. Sending all of my love to your family. Thank you. He's responded to treatment well so far. My friend just texted me about some Christmas movie she's watching with her family where a dude breaks up with a woman just as they're about to go home for the holidays to meet her parents. So she kidnaps another dude to bring home. And of course, they fall in love and live happily ever after. If they were reversed, it would be the start of a horror movie. You should watch the movie Overboard with Kurt Russell. It's about a guy who kidnaps an amnesiac woman to do his housework and be a mother to his kids, but it's all comedic. My siblings always knew one of the sisters was my mom's favorite. After that sister died, mom's favorite kept changing. We quickly realized that her favorite was whoever was skinniest at the time, our sister who passed and always been the skinniest, and without her she changes favorites based on who would look best in Facebook photos. She's got some issues. Yikes. I'm sorry. That's awful that your mom is so devoted to her body shaming her kids. And I'm sorry that your sister passed away.